All My Love. I know that's difficult for you to talk about it because you wrote that in the wake of your son's death in the mid-70s. And as a parent, I know what every other parent knows, that your terror in life is that one of your children will die before you do. And I recognize it, but tell me what you can and what you will about All My Love.
Yeah. I think it was just paying tribute to the joy that he gave us as a family, you know, and in a crazy way still does occasionally. His mother and I often, I mean, the memory changes, the contrast and the focus changes as time goes on. It's a long time ago that we lost him, 40 years ago. And we were blessed with another boy who came along about 2 years later. And the two images are blurred. The definition between Carrick and Logan is, it's a tough one to chip through the two things. But he was a little nature boy, you know. He was a mountain man.
How did you get through that?
Well, it wasn't easy, especially in the light of the fact that there's the whole hysteria that surrounded the mid to late 70s was, it was anything but conducive to a normal family life. But we pulled tight together, and both my wife and I, we had strong families, so. And good support. I mean, John Bonham from Zeppelin and his wife Pat, they were magnificent with us and helped us a lot. And we lived pretty close together, a long way from London, so we were kind of local people. And local community, I'm still in the same place, really, more or less, you know. There's no words that are anywhere to be found that can tell you about the sort of huge abyss. I wrote another song about him called I Believe, which was on an album in 1992, and it was, and every now and again, he turns up in songs, you know, for no other reason than I miss him a lot.
Well, grief is such a uniquely individual thing, and such an intimate thing that nobody can give anybody advice about grief. But going through what you did, losing a son and a young son at that, is there any word maybe of counsel that you could give to someone who's looking in on this and saying, you know, I lost somebody recently?
Well, as you say, it's such an individual phenomena, or just piece of real bad luck. And I don't know how many people have been in the public eye to such a garish degree as that, you know, that's what happened to us. I know other guys who do what I do, who've lost kids, and because we're kind of public property in a way, for all that we're not before this, because there's so much hidden. We're still public property, so our conditions and our luck and our bad luck and our whole circumstances are there for public discussion. Yeah, that's how it works, you know. So when it's tough, it's really tough. I would just say, I can't imagine how people get through it. There's no advice. Just love everything around you as much as you can. Really.
Now, it's Stairway to Heaven. A lot of people consider it the most classic song of Led Zeppelin time. But it's my understanding that, while you will perform it, it's not your favorite thing to perform.
Well, it's not about it being my favorite or not. It's nothing to do with that, really. It's just that it belongs to a particular time. If I had been involved in the instrumentation, I would feel that it's a magnificent piece of music which has its own character and personality. It even speeds up in a similar way to some pieces of more highbrow music. But my contribution was to write lyrics and to sing a song about fate and something very British, almost abstract. But they were coming out of the mind of a 23-year-old guy, you know, and it landed in the years and the era of 23-year-old guys. And I think as time goes on, you find that you may find another period of your life has got a little bit more substance or is more relative later on down the line, you know. So as much as I like it, I'm not wedded to that whole deal now.
Now, true or untrue that Kashmir is your personal all-time favorite?
Yeah, I think it probably, well, it was a great achievement to take such a monstrously dramatic musical piece and find a lyric that was ambiguous enough and a delivery which was not over pumped. Just, it almost was like the antithesis of the music was this kind of lyric and this vocal delivery that was just about enough to get in there, you know.
But it's your personal all-time favorite.
Well, I mean, there's such a variety of songs that I guess I would have to go along. Today, I'd have to say yes.
Tomorrow may be something else.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to read you back a quotation, that the downside of having an illustrious past for a musician is that many fans want you to live in it.
Mm. Well, you know, we're entertainers, so we must. I go and see somebody, you know, I used to go and see Bo Diddley, he was my hero, you know, and I wanted him to play. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover, but he did. And he played Pretty Thing and Who Do You Love and all those great songs. And I know that I must bring a lot of that to the table because that's why I'm still here to a degree. Right. But I have to modify it and spice it up and take this obsession to keep moving forward. Well, it's not an obsession, that's what I kicked out doing in the first place. I was in the most interesting group of people in the 70s. That band was very prolific. It was not all blood and thunder. There was a lot of delicacy about it too, and a lot of great craft. But the great thing about us in those days was, for better or worse, or like it or not, we did continue to develop constantly and to keep changing, and that's just what I do now. It's great, it's stimulating.